Every day brings a new complaint, or three, from the Trump administration about the American news media's coverage of the Iran war. President Trump is using words like criminal and unpatriotic to assail media companies. His FCC chairman, Brendan Carr, is threatening broadcasters' licenses. His defense secretary, Pete Hegseth, is insulting news outlets from the Pentagon press briefing podium. There's nothing subtle about their attack the messenger strategy, but it may betray some anxiety about the war's unusually low public approval ratings, or about how the war itself is actually going. After hearing Hegseth's criticism last Friday, CNN senior political commentator David Axelrod observed, "It feels like a decision has been made that if the war news isn't better to attack those who report news of the war." Axelrod theorized that Trump is envious of countries without a First Amendment. Putin doesn't have to put up with this. Major news outlets are undeterred by the administration's criticism, recognizing that attempts to deter and discredit wartime reporting are as old as war coverage itself. CNN chairman and CEO Mark Thompson recently pointed out in a statement, "Politicians have an obvious motive for claiming that journalism, which raises questions about their decisions, is false. At CNN, our only interest is in telling the truth to our audiences in the U.S. and around the world, and no amount of political threats or insults is going to change that. That said, the rhetoric is worth monitoring and analyzing, since it's a window into the president's worldview and it shapes his supporters' perceptions." Trump's media bashing, often a dull roar in the background, is an unusually loud howl right now. On Sunday night, he repeatedly dismissed difficult questions about the war by calling stories fake. He accused Iran of spreading misinformation, but then spread some of it himself. And the wartime media criticism is coming not just from Trump's White House, but from across his government, with cabinet officials, regulators, and MAGA allies all part of the campaign to discourage independent reporting. Trump cries treason. Trump went on a tear against corrupt media outlets in a 401-word Truth Social post on Sunday evening. He accurately pointed out that fake, AI-generated videos showing imaginary Iranian military victories have been circulating. News outlets like CNN and the New York Times have been debunking those videos. But then Trump falsely claimed that Iran has been working in close coordination with the fake news media to show the videos, including one especially obvious fake showing the USS Abraham Lincoln on fire. He wrote, "You can say that those media outlets that generated it should be brought up on charges for treason for the dissemination of false information." While the made-up video is easy to find on YouTube, responsible news outlets have not distributed it, contrary to Trump's charge. Speaking with reporters aboard Air Force One on Sunday night, Trump sounded frustrated by the proliferation of the AI-generated videos. He blamed AI repeatedly and said, "Iran is known for a lot of fake news," using the fake news phrase that he personally popularized a decade ago to demean real U.S. news outlets. "I actually think it's pretty criminal," Trump went on to say, "because our media companies who have no credibility whatsoever are putting out information that they know is false. News outlets have no incentive to do such a thing. The whole business model is built on truthful information. Though the fog of war is real, it can be very difficult to separate fact from fiction in wartime." Trump also bristled when an ABC News reporter brought up the fact that your PAC put out a fundraising email using photos taken at a dignified transfer of U.S. service members killed in Kuwait. "Do you think that's an appropriate email to send?" Trump said yes, and that he didn't see the email, then asked where the reporter worked, and proceeded to tear into ABC News as an organization. "I don't want any more from ABC," he added, and then looked around the plane for other questioners. When the ABC reporter tried again later and asked a simple question about U.S. deployments to the region, "Can you explain why we're sending 5,000 Marines and sailors?" Trump replied, "You're a very obnoxious person."